What's up, world? I'm your host, Lala Red, and this is Vibes Unplugged on Afrovibes TV. I'm super excited today because not only is it our first segment on Vibes Afro TV, but it's also our first time having a heavy hitter that's coming in the building tonight to talk to us about everything music industry. So I'm super excited. Without further ado, let me go ahead and introduce one of my dearest friends. He's super, super sweet. He has such a good heart. He's very positive and selfless, and he wears many hats. He's a respected music executive with over 2 decades of industry experience. He owns his own artist development and artist management label. He manages multiple artists like Tati Dior, Christian rap artist Chaz Chesson, and Brian Angel of the iconic R&B group Day 26. He's worked with artists like Paul Wall, Terminology. He's even worked with Genuine and many more artists. He's already earned 3 platinum Spotify plaques, 7 iTunes plaques, with one of them being the #1 rap album for Terminology's 50th rap album. He has a distribution deal with Roc Nation, and I can go on and on. Please help me introduce my dear friend, Stefan Alcy, aka Jim the Haitian.
Oh, man.
I'm so excited to see you tonight. I haven't seen you in weeks.
I know. Life's been good, though. Look at you, leveling up. I love this for you. Your new show. Congratulations.
Yes, thank you so much.
I'm happy to be your first guest. I feel good.
Yeah. My boy. How's it going? How's life been treating
good.
you?
I mean, between artist development right now for Tati Dior and gearing up for Chaz's first single off of Roc Nation, I'm very excited. We have a few records that I A&R'd recently that's coming out.
Okay.
I got a record with Lil Kiki that I did for Terminology's album with Tech of Smith & Wesson. So Technology, that's the name of the album. That's coming out December 6th. So there's a whole lot of things I could talk about,
Yeah,
So,
you've been having a really good year.
it's been good. I leveled up just like you.
Yeah, I saw you in Atlanta and everything for like an indie conference. So that was really cool.
That was in Boston. I was in Atlanta for artist development, and then went straight to Boston for the Massachusetts Music and Arts Summit.
Gotcha.
And I got to talk alongside my sister, who's a music executive as well.
Yeah.
She works for AirTab as like an artist relations executive.
Okay.
So she brings in a lot of artists to talk about how they can collaborate on live performances. Okay. So it was good for her to curate her own panel, and she chose me as one of the executives to talk. So I was there with Terminology. We spoke on the same panel. My cousin G.O.D., who's a famous rapper out in Boston, he was on the panel. And then a couple guys, Juddy J from Atlanta was there too. He's a pretty good A&R as well. That's down there with a situation at 300. Yeah. So it was good to kind of just see the synergy happen in Boston like that. And I received a warm welcome, which was very exciting for me because I never really get to go back home. Yeah. And Houston's my new home, and I love it here.
Yeah, I was watching you. I was looking at your Instagram, checking out what y'all was doing while you were in Boston and Atlanta. So that was really interesting.
1 week that week. Yeah. A lot of travel, but I'm happy to be back home here.
Yeah, Houston. Awesome. Right. So we got Jim the Haitian. So obviously you're a Haitian. You're from Haiti.
I got my flag right here.
Okay. You carry that thing everywhere with you.
I go, man. This is Port-au-Prince, Haiti. I was born and raised.
Yes, it's like your signature. Tell me a little bit about like growing up in Haiti. Tell me a little bit about your family dynamic and how that was before you got here in Houston.
That's amazing. Let's see. I got here in 1996 when I was only 10 years old.
Okay.
But in Haiti, I don't know. We got into soccer very early. So I got a scar right here, believe it or not, from playing soccer in the streets, not paying attention, and I ran right into a truck. And the truck had like a metal part coming out, and it just kind of almost pierced my eye.
Oh my gosh.
So I was
boys will be boys.
Yeah. I was always blessed, just getting into trouble and not really getting into any major accidents. So I remember one time my uncle played for the Haitian Soccer League, and they were doing like what is it, like playoffs or finals or something. They played in a finals game, and they lost, and Killing Me Softly by the Fugees came on. Yeah. And as soon as they lost and it came on, boom, I just shedded every tear.
Oh, yeah.
Because the music just kind of emoted that emotion at that point in time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I fell in love with music.
Okay.
I still remember I was maybe about 9 years old just before we got awarded our visa to come to the United States.
Gotcha. Okay, so this music and being in the industry, that's a passion for you. That's something you've always wanted to do.
It's been my purpose.
Okay, gotcha.
And it's been kind of difficult to figure out how to break into the industry, so I had to do it on my own.
Okay.
It took a couple decades, but I'm here.
Okay, so yeah, speaking of breaking into the industry, tell me a little bit about that. Like, how did that go for you, especially, coming here to Houston? I know you went to school here. You started with a tech company.
Mm-hmm.
So how did you break from tech into getting into the music industry, into the passion that you really want to do?
Cool. That's a really good question. They go hand in hand, technology and music, because music is really a gateway to sell technology. If you really pay attention to Beats by Dre, for example, the headphones were sold through music artists, through all of these major ad campaigns that we had, posed as music videos. You see what I mean? So music was always the tool that we used to sell product, and it wasn't by luck or anything. I think it was just by design that I ended up getting into technology. So I started my own consulting firm when I came out here after falling rock bottom. I had to figure it out. But in Haiti, you're taught to be a self-starter. So, being at the bottom wasn't new to me. So,
gotcha.
So I just embraced it, played in the mud, and figured out how to turn something into a mud castle.
Gotcha.
So being that I was very well versed in how to implement certain pieces of technology, I sort of used that as a financial tool to break into the music business, because a lot of artists think that you just kind of make it out of nowhere. But there's money that needs to go into marketing. There's money that needs to be to go into creating the actual product, as well as the brand image to really sustain a career in music business. So having that, I went through Universal Records as an internship, and figured out every aspect of the business from, inception all the way to reality and distribution and sales. I kind of just became a record label in one person for myself. So I knew I needed startup capital. So I used my wits and technology to build a business that allowed me to fund my music business.
Gotcha. That was really smart. That was an intelligent move.
And that's how Vicious Society got birthed.
Okay. So Vicious Society. Yes. So let's talk a little bit about that. What is Vicious Society? This is your artist development and management label, correct?
Correct.
Gotcha. Okay. So tell me a little bit about that. We know you just said, how you got started in getting into the music industry due to tech. Tell me a little bit more about Vicious Society. How did that come about? I know you've been doing it for about 10 years now you've had the company?
It's been a lot longer than that. Okay. I remember we started Vicious Society, I want to say in 05, 06, back in Brockton, Massachusetts, myself and Manny Garcia.
Gotcha.
It was this guy that looks just like Fat Joe and Big Pun put together, but he has a heart of gold, and he's still one of my best friends till this day.
Okay.
So he was the person that had the money. How he got the money, I can't say, but he had money to fund it back then. He just didn't have the know-how to start an entertainment firm. So I hooked him up with a lawyer friend of mine, an entertainment lawyer, and he put up the bread to actually start Vicious Society LLC, Entertainment LLC. So we then launched a publishing company, Vicious Society Entertainment Publishing. And then from there, we just started hitting the ground. But he kind of ran through we made a lot of mistakes in Massachusetts, but we did a lot. We put out an album, we pressed CDs, we sold CDs out the trunk, all on some Jay-Z type stuff, when I moved here in 2011, I think around 2016 is when I decided to relaunch Vicious Society.
Okay.
So I called Manny, he's still in Massachusetts. And I got the blessing for him to help to allow me to rebrand it, simplify it, and kind of make it a management firm, a place where I could just sign artists and develop artists. And I want to say since then we've gotten some accolades. So
it's always good to make those connections and network with people so that you can do what you got to do. So I respect it for sure. Definitely. Tell me a little bit about your artists, Jim the Haitian. So I know you have a few artists. I really like 3 of them.
Yes.
I love Brian. I love him. I love his music. You know I love his song, Heavenly. That's one of my favorite songs.
Oh, yes.
You did amazing with him. Yeah, and I really like Tati too. I like how she's very versatile.
Yeah.
And then Chaz is just going off with the Christian rap. That's amazing. So talk to me a little bit more about your artists and what they have to offer.
Sure. Well, we'll start with Brian. With Brian, it's more like I help him with strategy development.
Okay.
It's not necessarily managing him as an artist, because Brian's like a big brother to me. So it's really hard to quote unquote manage him or tell him together we work and solve some of the problems that he could have. But there's a whole lot that I've learned from Brian, because he helped introduce me into the R&B industry, which is slightly different from the rap industry. They just do business a little bit differently, and there's a lot of emotions involved. So we treat it very delicately.
Yeah.
But I'm proud of Brian. I'm proud of what he's built himself into. He works out every single day, every morning. He does daily 8s, he calls them. Brian's daily 8s. He does 8 miles every morning.
What?
With his fans, yeah. Oh, so you can catch him on Instagram Live even tomorrow morning. He'll be walking and running 8 miles every morning. That's the thing. He's on the keto diet. That's how he lost all that weight. And right now we got, at the top of the year, I think is when we'll drop his debut solo album. Coming off of this very successful independent release of the Day 26 album, Day Ones. If you guys haven't heard it, go check out Day Ones. It's everywhere. You could download it. You could purchase it, what have you. But yeah, Brian did an amazing job. We actually spent a month and a half creating that entire album in Atlanta as a whole group. So I got to live with Day 26. We got to really experience the album being created by none other than Sean Penn. Not Sean Garrett, but Sean McMillian. He's the same guy who penned "I Love This Ish" by August Alsina.
Oh, yeah, that's a hit. That's a hit too. That's a hit.
He got a few hits under his belt. A couple number ones. He did. He also wrote DJ Khaled, featuring Nicki Minaj and August Alsina.
Oh,
that record.
That was a good one too. With Chris Brown?
Yes, with Chris Brown.
Yes.
He wrote August's part on that record. That went number 1 as well. So being able to just lay down in his loft, him and his partner Ralph Jancy, who also manages an incredible group right now that are currently signed. But yeah, together, they just being in their loft in Atlanta, sleeping around number 1 Billboard plaques or something, it gave me
motivating.
a whole lot of motivation.
Yeah,
I couldn't say anything about it.
Of course. We're gonna take a quick break, and we'll take a quick commercial break, get a little bit of water.
Yeah.
Get us some more energy, and we'll be right back with y'all. Again, my name is Lala Red, and this is Vibes Unplugged on Afrovibes TV.
Yeah.
And we're back. Again, I'm your host, Lala Red, and this is Vibes Unplugged on Afrovibes TV. Again, we have my guest, Stefan Alci, a.k.a. Jim the Haitian here. Yeah. And right before we went on break, we were talking a little bit about his artists. We talked about Brian Angel from Day 26. And we're just going to go ahead and continue with the artists that you have on your label.
Yeah. So to wrap up on Brian, his album's coming out. This is his solo debut album. Most people don't know. He doesn't have a solo debut album. He has a debut EP. It's a short-length album, but not an actual full-length album. So I A&R'd this album along with him, because he did a lot of work putting the album together prior to me coming in. But once I came in, I helped with some of the creative direction and some of the decision making that he wanted me to assist with. But yeah, the album's incredible. It features Don Richard from Danity Kane.
I love her.
You know, there's 2 number 1 producers on there, Grammy Award winning producers on there. At least I think there's 2. I think there's 3 now. But Errol E. Poppy, he's known as E. Poppy. He's the guy who produced Dangerously in Love by Beyonce. Yeah, he produced one of my favorite records on that album. Yes, Labox, King Labox, he's on the album. He produced as well. He's worked with a lot of the greats, a few number 1s too, a couple Grammys.
Okay.
So it was really good to just be in the studio with some of those heavy hitters, and I learned a whole lot. And I'm grateful for my big brother Brian for all of that. Tati Dior, it's like, if I could say anything about Tati, it's just breathtaking the way that she's being developed. And she's gonna give you R&B, soul, pin-up, you know.
She gonna give you all that. She's so versatile.
Yeah,
like
she gonna give you that raw energy vocals. You know, you're gonna hear Mariah Carey, Christina, Whitney. You're gonna hear that type of edge and range from her. And Sean, who the guy I told you that wrote Day 26's project and did August Alsina, Sean's actually coming here. I want to say the second week of December.
Nice.
And he's going to stay with us for 5 days to actually work on Tati's debut EP.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'm excited about that too.
Yeah.
And we're going direct to consumer, man. So you're going to be able to find it on her website once we drop it. A few visuals, of course. You're going to catch that on Vivo and everywhere else. You know, we'll probably run through the BETs and MTVs or what have you. But I'm excited for the world to kind of hear what we've been putting together. The beauty about all my artists is that we really sit down and work together. It's not just, oh, here, this is what you're going to do. No, it's all a creative process that we're a part of as a team. So look out for Tati Dior. You can catch her at I am Tati Dior.
Yes.
I am Tati Dior, Instagram. I got Chaz Chesson. You know, this is my favorite rapper. I just so happen to manage the guy.
Yeah.
He's my favorite rapper for so many reasons, because he's a God-fearing man. He's a family man. He loves his children. He's always playing with his kids, working out with his kids, teaching his kids. And they call me Uncle Steph, Uncle Jim. So I'm excited. Brian's kids call me Uncle Steph too. So I love that about us. We're like a tight-knit family. Brian actually is included in Chaz's new record coming out. He has a song called Horns Blow, and it features Terminology and Brian Angel. It was produced by my man Donnie out here in Houston. It was also mixed and mastered by Grammy Award winner Corey Washington.
Oh, nice.
Who also mastered PJ Morton's Best Gospel Album Grammy. So I'm very excited about what we got going. So Chaz's record, Horns Blow, you'll be able to hear it all over Music Choice Radio starting the week of December 3rd. And then we'll transition over to Sirius XM satellite radio. I feel like the world needs to hear
big thing.
Yeah, he did on the radar. So catch
it.
The Catch is on the radar freestyle. He freestyled for On the Radar twice. He did Bag Fuel. Shout out to my man Esso and Heineken from Bag Fuel. And we're going to New York. We're going to do a nice little press junket once the project drops. But we're looking at dropping his actual EP. It's called More Christ. And it comes out Christmas.
Oh, nice. Y'all tune in. Looking out for that.
So you'll be able to catch that at chazchesson.com. You could go to vicioussociety.com, find that as well. And of course, afterwards, maybe we'll put it out on streaming. But for the most part, we want exclusivity with these types of projects because we're putting a lot of heart into it. And there's definitely a message that we want the world to have, especially for Chaz's More Christ project.
That's a big thing.
Yeah, it's pretty big. I'm proud of him, but we got a lot to do. We're going to do a few things like Blockwork TV in New York. I'm happy to bring him wherever anybody wants him. He's my favorite specifically because as an artist, he really focuses on putting the gospel in a way that's just not corny. He's a street dude.
Yes.
He's from the streets of New York, and he was heavy in the streets, and he's able to kind of just talk God in a way that people from the streets that don't go to church,
it's like a raw, but still like godly. Like I don't even know how to explain, but it's good, y'all. And I've met Chaz, I've met Tati, I haven't met Brian in person, but I have talked to him over the phone. And when I say Steph is really like putting in work with them, you know, they're putting in work as well. But Steph is really helping the artists develop. They're all very amazing talents. They're all like super respective. They're very like public high figures. And I mean, just keep looking out for them. Drop Chaz's Instagram. I don't think you dropped
it. That's Chida Go Crazy. That's CHIDDA Go Crazy.
Yeah.
You can find them on Instagram. Brian is I Am Brian Angel on Instagram. I also manage famed producer Jay Cardam. He's worked with French Montana, Joe Budden, Fat Joe, Jada Kiss the Locks, you name it. And he's currently working with my cousin I told you about, G.O.D. Let's see. I manage a set of twins, believe it or not. They're Haitians, and they are incredible twin women.
Okay.
They're nurse practitioners, you know, by day, and they can wrap their butt on.
Well, women can do anything.
By night. Yeah, so you could catch them on a tour. And I'll have the tour information. I'll bring them out once they come to the Houston show. But they'll be on tour top of January. So the whole month of January, I think they'll be touring. But their name is Deuces. You can find them at Official Deuces, and that's DOUSIS. So Official DOUSIS. That's Deuces right there. Deuces. They got like their video coming out soon for their latest record that's out right now. So you could just check out everything online. But yeah,
I'm just busy. Y'all he's busy. I can't even get this man on the phone. I'm like, Steph, I need you to do this for my video. Steph is in Atlanta. Steph's in New York. Steph's in this place. He's here. He's there. He's doing conferences. It's like
I'm doing what I gotta do.
This guy is so busy.
But if Lala called me for this, I'm here.
Yes.
Whatever she wants, I'm here.
Yes.
Y'all gotta tune into this show. This is it right here.
Yeah, he's definitely one of those people in Houston that definitely motivates me. I'm seeing him go through ups and downs and vice versa. So
thank you.
Yeah.
That's why I'm so happy about this level up, because I know exactly where it's coming from. This is great.
No, last year around this time, guys, we were going through some crazy stuff.
Yes.
The both of us. So just to see this is just super exciting. I'm super excited for what's going to come for the new year, 2025, and we outside, baby.
Outside. You know, you can catch me everywhere. Like I said, everything is easier to reach me through Instagram. So go to Instagram.com/Jem the Haitian. That's JEMTHEHAITIAN.
Yes, and yes. So we talked a little bit about your artists. Let's talk a little bit about artist development, because you play a big role in the music industry and with your artists, with developing them, making sure they're ready for shows, for the stage, for interviews, just being a public figure. So tell me a little bit about that, Steph. I know you got your hands in that a lot.
Yes. I think what I've learned about artist development is that it starts with having everyone involved understand that the artist is not the reason for anything. God is the reason for all of it. God is giving the artist the creative juice to be able to create something. And that creation is not coming from the artist, it's coming through the artist. From God. So once we do that's the first part.
Yeah.
Once we do that, it breaks down all of the ego, breaks down all of these idiosyncrasies, and we can get back to tapping into the source of the creation, going beyond the artist and getting deeper into the spirit of that artist. So that way we can plug in with God to find out what authentically should come out of that artist. A lot of the times artists don't really do that type of work, so they get trapped in this movement of disarray because they're trying to find their identity. but your identity comes from within, as an artist. And so the point of artist development for me is to help the artist look within, supply the artist with the key players that will help to develop that art out of them that comes authentically, as opposed to this whole maquillage of, hey, I gotta become Nicki Minaj or I gotta become the next Drake. No, you don't gotta become the next anything. You just gotta be the next you, the best you possible. Who is that? Can we identify that, and can we create a brand around that? Is there somewhat of a reason for us as the collective that purchases the art to actually go and purchase your art? So if God's not in it, I can't really help develop it.
Right.
So that's really the process of artist development. So we help artists, build not only their true identity, but build the confidence to accept that true identity, because the world may or may not like what comes out of that, but at least it's authentic to you. So keeping the artist focused mentally, psychologically on how to really create and express themselves artistically is my end-all be-all for artist development. It's probably the most important part of my career. Yeah.
Love that. Okay. That's awesome. So, let's see. Tell me about like your first big break. Like, what was something that you've done with the artists? I know you've worked with so many artists. You've worked with Houston legends, all that. So tell me one of your biggest breaks or something where you feel like, I made it. I'm in here. I'm in the building.
It's funny because I think for me, one of my biggest ones, I'll go to one of my first placements.
Okay.
I didn't know it was going to happen like this or anything, and I've never worked with this artist before. So this is an indirect working thing that happened.
Okay.
So Terminology calls me, and he says he's landed in Houston. He needs a studio. I go pick him up, and I bring him to Studio 713. When we get there, the Studio 713, shout out to Ricky Rich. Let's see. We get there with my engineer over there, Matt O'Neill, and we're trying to figure out, what exactly we're doing. Has this thing where he'll create a million songs right then and there. You don't know which songs are gonna go anywhere, and you don't know who he's featuring on the songs. It's just part of the creative process. So I'm in the studio with him. And the vibes are right. The vibes all right. And I start to hum something. I'm like, this ain't my life. I'm doing it right. This music go right. He goes, wait, what's that you just got right there? I said, I don't know, man. I'm thinking that should be the hook. He's like, yeah, I like that hook. I got it all like on video what he said. And I didn't think anything of it. He went in the studio. I tried to lay the hook down, a reference, but my vocal tone just didn't fit it. Maybe I could have been featured on it.
Yeah.
But he took that, he rewrote it, he did his thing to it. And I didn't hear anything for like a month, 2 months, 3 months go by. Now, the very following year, right, I want to say in February or what have you, he dropped this album called Rapping With My Friends. The second song on that album, I hear, ooh, ooh. I was like, wait, this
sounds like me.
Familiar, right? I just want to live my life. I'm doing it right. This music, all right. And I was just like, that is right. That was the moment I knew I made it, because I influenced that hook. It's not like I penned it for him, but I influenced the melody, and he took that melody and he created something featuring Sky Zoo, which is one of my favorite rappers.
Yeah.
So that moment on, I was just like, yeah, I'm here.
That's
all I gotta do is do that again, and I'll do it again. I could name 2 other times when something like that happened. When I added Brian Angel on Terminology and Paul Wall's second albums, Start, Finish, Repeat. With I.A.N.R., the deluxe version of that album.
Yeah.
So the deluxe version, I added Brian to a song, and Brian was like, man, you think you could write this hook?
Yeah.
I was just like, yeah, I'm going to try. So I was in the living room, and I wrote the hook.
Yeah.
I referenced it. I can't sing, so I referenced it in my cracky voice. Brian took it and just ran with it. I'ma push this paper. And that thing came out. I was just like, oh, this belongs on album. So just to hear Paul Wall flow like butter on it on the first verse, Brian came on, I'ma push this paper on the hook with his I was like, oh my God, this gotta be the intro to a movie or something. Yeah. And then Term came on in the rain in the candy frame. And I was like, oh. And this was another placement of mine. So again, I'm like a kid in a candy store when it comes to music. Yeah. So whether it's the business side or the creative side, I jump in wherever I can fit in. Whether I'm A&Ring or managing, I might be managing a video shoot. You know, I might be managing the business for an artist. Recently, I managed a private booking for Tati, where she was able to get paid to sing at some rich dude's house, for, you know, for like an hour. You know, so. I love this because it's fun to do. It's like I feel like I'm living my purpose. Yeah. And if I work, I'm working to earn a living. Yeah. But if I'm doing this, it doesn't feel like work. It's like a passion. It's more so, it's like what you're meant to do. Yeah. Listen, I can sit here and talk to Jim the Haitian all night. We always have these like super long, interesting conversations. But we gotta wrap it up, guys. I really appreciate you guys tuning in to our first interview on Vibes Unplugged at Afrovibes TV. I'll see you guys next week. Again, happy Thanksgiving and thank you for tuning in. Thank you.